Hey Rockstars, Steve aka Void here, and I want to welcome you to this week's episode of Pajama Jam. I'm really excited about today's episode. I'm always excited about the episodes, but today's going to be a lot of fun because it's kind of a different challenge for today. So first and foremost, let's make sure that everybody gets in okay and is, can see and hear me clearly. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you could see and hear me clearly, as well as if you're wearing your PJs, if you came with your pajamas. I got my Cookie Monsters over here, and I'm definitely looking forward to learning some riffs tonight. So tonight's episode is going to be all about Kansas Carry On Wayward Son. So, which is kind of strange because before I broadcasted this, maybe other people think this too, but I thought it was Carry On My Wayward Son. Now, I know that's what he sings inside the chorus, but yeah, the official title is Carry On Wayward Son. It's like one of those things that I knew, but I forgot about because I think that everyone just calls it Carry On My Wayward Son. So tonight is going to be Carry On Wayward Son. I'm probably going to mess that up a whole bunch, and I'm probably going to keep saying Carry On My Wayward Son. But that is the song. Very, very, there's a lot of really great riffs in this song. So tonight's goal is going to be to learn all 5 of the riffs inside this song. And it's, I think it's a bit of a tall order, but I think that it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a fun episode. So let's see who's here, and then we'll make sure everything is good, and we can get started. So we've got Ken, we've got Denny, we've got Denis, we've got Johnny, we've got Lance, we've got Greg, we've got Basher, and we've got Roger. Awesome. Welcome, guys. Let me know, if you're watching and you didn't comment, just let me know that you're here, especially if it's your first time at a Pajama Jam. And some really, really fun stuff. So a couple of announcements. Number one, thanks to everybody who took advantage of the Video Surgeon promo last week. So that's what I was using to tackle November Rain last week. I'm not going to need it today because I have the tab for the riffs, and the riffs, I think, just from what I remember in my head, it's pretty straightforward in the sense of I could just see it on the tab. But definitely next time I use a solo or I learn a solo, I'm going to be using Video Surgeon. So thanks to everybody who took advantage of that special offer. That cart is now closed, and I'll be sending out the info on bonuses very soon. I'm just waiting for Jim to get back to me with the final list so that I can just cross-reference and get the bonuses. So there's that. Also, the other thing is I'm sporting some new digs today. I've got my VØID Cancer shirt that came in, and I'll be actually announcing this very, very soon, some VØID Cancer merch. The cool thing about VØID Cancer merch is that inside the merch store, when you buy VØID Cancer merch, either the tank top, the shirts, there'll be a mug, there'll be a hoodie, there'll be some really great stuff. Every single dollar that comes in from the VØID Cancer merch is going to be used to create new programs for cancer patients and their caregivers through my fundraising initiative, VØID Cancer. So actually, this is the guitar that inspired the logo that I designed. Oh, I'm doing it all wrong over here. So very happy with the shirts. A nice big logo here. Show your support. Eliminating cancer one note at a time. And very, very happy to have those come in. So I'll be announcing those very, very soon. Now, like I said, Carry On Wayward Son, that is today's theme for the episode. And besides the fact that I got the title wrong, I also, this song reminds me of the video game Guitar Hero. Now, I never had Guitar Hero. My friends always did. But I don't know about you, but I suck at Guitar Hero, like the clicking the little buttons. And I remember this song here, one of my buddies, who wasn't even a guitar player at the time, he was playing this, and he played it so well. And I never learned this song on guitar, so I just remember it just haunts my dreams that this song with the clicking and clacking of the Guitar Hero controller, I just have carpal tunnel thinking about it. So anyway, today I'm going to make things right. I'm going to learn on an actual guitar, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm just going to double check who is here. Awesome. We've got Jim here. We've got Julie. Awesome. Welcome, Julie. I think this might be your first Pajama Jam. Awesome. Welcome. We've got Doug. We've got Dawn. Welcome. Carrie. Awesome. Welcome to your first Pajama Jam. Awesome. I hope you brought your PJs. Very, very cool. All right. So today we are going to be learning the 5 riffs of of Carry On Wayward Son. Now, if this is your first pajama jam, here's basically how it works and how it kind of came to be. So I'm a new dad, and I don't really have that much time to practice, even though I have a guitar in my hand quite a bit in the day, because I write and record my own music, as well as I run Rockstar Mind, and so I teach others how to play. But my actual practicing, like learning riffs or progressing in my playing, that didn't really happen. And so I thought, when everyone's sleeping at nighttime, I'll come down and I'll practice. And so while I was down here, since I broadcast online from this spot here, I thought, well, why don't I just broadcast my practice session and just explain what I'm thinking while I'm practicing? If you see that, then you can incorporate in your playing the same strategies that I'm using in mine. And so it's just a little bit different because I've just never seen this before. Someone who's really good at learning, telling what they're thinking as they're thinking. So as they're practicing and learning, because really, in my opinion, that's what you need to do. I mean, I wrote a whole book on it, Practice Less, Play More. This book here outlines pretty much everything that I'm going to do today. And if you want to learn how to do what I'm about to do, then check out my book, Practice Less, Play More, on Amazon, because it's going to lay out the step-by-step approach. And so, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, but the main thing is that learning how to learn and learning how to practice, that is really a core skill as a guitar player. And that's what's going to allow for you to practice less and play more. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So beginners, watch the techniques that I'm using, and, it doesn't have to be specifically for Carry On Wayward Son. I'll have the tab on the screen, but you don't have to follow along necessarily and obsess. I would say just sit back, relax, watch the episode, and, I guess cheer me on as I'm trying to learn it in 30 minutes or less, up to speed. Now, for intermediate guitar players, you can follow along if you want, but I also suggest that you watch the techniques that I'm using, because that's really, I think, the value that you're going to get. I'm going to talk through it. Last week with November Rain, last episode, that was pretty intense, and I'm surprised it all came together. It didn't necessarily have to come together like that. It just kind of did, and I was a bit lucky with that. Today, I know it's 5 riffs, so it's going to be a lot, and I'm going to see if I can cram it all into 30 minutes. I think that I'll be able to do it. It's about 6 minutes a riff, so I think I'll be able to do it up to speed, and I'll walk you through everything. So this time, what I'm trying to say is that this time there'll be, I think, more narration as I'm going, whereas last time I was holding on for dear life, so just trying to get the whole thing going with that solo. So so today you'll probably get some more narration about what I'm thinking as I'm practicing. All right, so that is a Pajama Jam. What I'm going to be doing with Carry On My Wayward Son, there I said it, Carry On Wayward Son. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through pre-practice, tell you about what I did in pre-practice and what pre-practice is, as well as go through no tempo practice, slow tempo practice, and then the fast practice formula. So this is how I'm going to learn this song quickly. Okay, now just a few more people I didn't think came in. So I'm just going to say hi. Tommy is here. Awesome. Welcome, buddy. We've got Bobby. Welcome. And we've got, and Len. Welcome, buddy. Very, very cool. So let's just make sure you could hear the guitar. Should be able to hear that. A little bit of reverb. Okay. Cool. So, quick drink of water here, and then I'll share my screen. And we'll get started. So, let's see over here. This should do it. Actually, you know what? Well, I kind of have to start the countdown timer here. Have to start the countdown. So let's get this going with April 3rd. Okay, and let's go. Let's do 40. Okay. All right. So we've got the countdown set, and let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen here. All right, Carry On Wayward Son. So this is the song over here. This is the tab. And the first thing I notice is the tempo, so 124. And I've got that programmed in my metronome. That's part of my pre-practice. So before I practice, I prepare everything that I need. And part of that pre-practice was scanning through to make sure that there weren't any weird, moments inside the riffs. And so I'll show you what that's all about. But what I did when I did pre-practice, I also marked with a star the 5 riffs. This is one over here. So this is one riff over here. Then we've got riff number 2. Okay. My phone is running out of battery, so that's not going to be good because that is my metronome. So let me get that going over here. One sec. So I got that plugged in. Okay. So then that's number 2. And then let's see, number 3 is, scroll down. Where is number 3? Where's the star? Did they disappear? There we go. There's the other one. There's 3. Then we got 4. And then we have 5 over here. So that's one of the things that I did. I marked down what I want to learn. And those are the 5 riffs of the song. If I could play those 5 riffs, then I'll be able to play along with the record. Okay, so I'll put this one up on the screen. I've got my metronome over here. And the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of walk you through. Let me just refresh my memory with this quick scan. I'm going to scan through, okay, and I'm going to just check just to see if anything is, poking out any weird technique or anything like that. So the riff looks pretty straightforward. Some picking, a little slide there. And again, it's very important when you're learning songs to learn songs that you know and love. So, it's embedded in your ear. You could hear the song, and that's what's going to help you learn the song quickly. Okay, so that's good. Anyway, so that's the, ba-da-da-down, ba-da-da-down, da-da-da-da-da-dum, ba-dum. That's that riff, the main riff. Then we got bom-bom, ba-bom, da-da-da-da-da-dum, bom, da-bom-bom. And then the other one, da-da-da-da-da, the other guitar does it. Anyway, so I'm not really seeing anything weird there, just some slides and some hammer-ons. So that's cool. And then I'm going to go to the next one. So here, this is bom ba da 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 bom 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 dum da 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 dum dum dum. So that's the riff there. So that all looks pretty straightforward. Some pull-offs, okay. And then the organ, boom bum 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 bum. Okay, so that, and then it goes back to dum da 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 bum 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 bum. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to learn them in isolation for today. But that's the that riff there, and the last one. Bom ba ba da dum ba da dum bom bom ba da bom 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 ba da dum ba da dum bom bom ba da bom bom. So it's just basically like I know what the riffs are supposed to sound like. I just never learned these. I never had these under my fingers. So that is the quick scan. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to split up each riff. Again, like I said, I'm going to give myself about 6 minutes for each riff, and then. So I'm going to take each one through the process. Okay, so I'm going to do no tempo practice, slow tempo practice, and then the fast practice formula. So I'll use my .73 Tortex pick by Dunlop, the yellow pick, and let's do this. Let's go to the guitar cam. Okay, and okay, let's see what we got here. So you can see the tab. Okay, should be good. Okay, so let's get this going here. So the no tempo practice, basically I'm just going to go through this slowly without any musical pulse, just to see if there's any weirdness, if my fingers feel any weirdness. Before my eyes, I was scanning through to see if there was any weird techniques or anything weird. But here, I'm just going to kind of play through it to experience it and see if, kind of just get my fingers on it here. And I'm doing it with a slightly clean tone, just so that I could hear everything. So... Okay, nothing really weird there. I mean, maybe a finger choice here. Okay, so that should be okay. Now, I'm going to take, let me get this going here. So nothing weird there. Now I'm going to do slow tempo practice. So that was successful. So I'm going to take this, chunk here, this little bit of information, and I'm going to play it one time with a slow tempo. Now, this is the target tempo. Oh, do I not have, where is my, let's see. Okay, I'll just roll the dice here with my phone. I've got 13% battery. So that's the speed that it's going to be. But what I'm going to do with slow tempo is I'm going to play it way slower than that, because I have to go as slow as, so slow I can't make a mistake. So let's see. Bom, 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 bom. Okay, so that would be, yeah. So now that I did that, now I do the fast practice formula. And I'm just going to load this up on the screen because this is basically the fast practice formula. You'll see this in the book, Practice Less, Play More. Inside the merch store, I have a big poster of that. I've got it up on my wall over here. And this is the fast practice formula. So now I'm going to go 3 times without making a mistake before moving on. Okay, so now that's 2 times. Now, so it was the first time, then the second time, and now I just did it 3 times in a row without making a mistake. Now I'm going to move on. I'm going to play it faster, so I can increase the speed. As you can see here, so increase the speed, increase the amount, or increase the complexity. That top line, I can increase either one of those. I'm going to increase the speed. I'm going to kind of ramp this up. Now, because this is a pajama jam, I'm going to ramp it up quite a bit. But if you're practicing at home, you want to do every time you play 3 times without making a mistake, you up it. You up the speed 3 to 5 BPM. Okay, so. Okay, and again. Okay, now I'm actually doing a little bit more. Just to, in best interest of time. So here be. Okay, and again. Okay, and then last time. Now, in best interest of time, I'm just going to ramp this right up to the tempo, target tempo. Okay, so. Okay. Okay, that's 3 times without making a mistake. Okay, next, I'm going to increase the amount, so I'm going to actually play this lick. Ba 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 da dum. So. Oh. And actually, I'm going to change this up a bit. And feel free to change things when you're playing. I'm going to do a pull off there. So, because that's way more comfortable for me. So I'm just going to change it up, okay? And also so I can pick up the pace here. So and then this last part, so that's 3 times without making a mistake, and then I'm going to increase the amount of the song that I know, so I'm going to increase this to the next chunk. I'm going to play the next chunk, so just power chords pretty much based off of that. Okay. 3 times without making a mistake before moving on. So now I'm just going to go 1 step back, so before the previous chunk, so I'm going to increase the amount that I play, and then I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go... Okay, so again. Okay, feels comfortable. Okay, cool. So that's 3 times without making a mistake. Is that clear, guys? How I'm playing it 3 times without making a mistake before moving on, because that's what's going to allow for it to, for me to remember it. 1 time might be lucky. 2 times it might still be lucky if I get it. But 3 times really means that I know it. If I play 3 times without making a mistake, it means I really know it. So let's see here. Cool. Okay, that feels good. I like that. So. Okay, so I feel good about that riff, and that's up to speed. So that's the main riff. I feel really good about that. Okay, so that is that riff there. Now I'm just gonna move on, just in case we encounter some other stuff. I think that I know what riff's gonna be a bit tricky, but this one here. So same thing. Now, so I'm gonna do no tempo practice, and I'm just gonna go through the whole thing here. Because there's no tempo, so there's no pulse or anything like that. So, and I'll do a power chord there. Okay, and then it looks like a chord here. So, yeah. Okay. Again, no tempo, just going through it with my fingers just to see if there's anything strange. Okay, and then I'll do the riff again, or the lick. Okay, we'll do it 2 times there. Yeah, so now with a slow tempo, I'm going to play here. So, and I'll just do it without the metronome right now. Just in best interest of time. I'm just going to make sure that it's so slow I can't make a mistake. Okay, then again. Now now I'm doing fast practice formula, so I'm doing it 3 times. This is the 3rd time I'm going for without making a mistake. Okay, so that's 3 times without making a mistake. Now I'm going to move on, and I'm going to see what this part feels like here. Okay. Okay. All right. So is that clear, guys? Now, so I'm playing it 3 times without making a mistake. Now I'm going to move on to this part here. Okay. Yep, sounds a bit weird, but I think that's the right chord. Okay. Then again, 2 minor 7 chords there. Okay, and then I'll do the lick one more time. The other guitarist does that. Okay, now I'm going to piece it together. Okay, so I'm going to go like this 3 times without making a mistake. Is this clear, guys? Are you seeing how I'm sort of piecing this together 3 times without making a mistake? I'm going a little bit faster here, but this is the main thing, is I'm just practicing whatever it is. And this could be a chord diagram. You could watch from a video, wherever you get the information. Even if you don't know how to read tabs, you get the information somehow, and you have to practice it 3 times without making a mistake before moving on. You could increase the speed, increase the amount, or increase the complexity. Okay. Now, I didn't make any mistakes really here, knock on wood. But if I made 2 mistakes in a row, then I decrease the speed, decrease the amount, decrease the complexity. Pick one of those, and that's what you do in the next attempt. We're like scientists doing experiments here. Okay. Whoops, wrong chord. I'm playing a minor 7 chord. It sounds good, actually, but that's the chord. Okay, so. Okay. Okay, and the 3rd time. Okay, I feel good about that. Cool. So, now the next one, let's do the next chords, and we'll go. Okay, 2nd time. Okay, and 3rd time. All right, and now it just makes sense that for the 2nd riff, I'm going to just play the whole thing here. Let's get the tempo, target tempo. Yeah, I was pretty much right with it, but I'm going to play it slower because I'm increasing the amount, so I'm actually going to decrease the speed here. So I'm going to go. Yeah. Okay, and I was just a bit worried about this transition here, but this worked out okay because they're open strings, so I spotted that, and it's going to be okay. So playing that, so slowly, so the 2nd attempt. Okay, there's one mistake, so I have to reset the counter back to 0, so I played one mistake there, so now I have no correct. So here, 1st time. That's 1 time correct without making a mistake. So okay. What am I doing? Should be playing this with the. Okay, I'll do the 3rd time with this. So. Okay, cool. So that's the 2nd riff. Cool. All right. I'm making pretty decent time here. I've got 3 more riffs, and I've got like 16 minutes left. I'm going to leave the bump last because I think that one's going to be a little pain in the butt. So let's do this one here. I think this is going to be fine. There's just a little bit of what's called syncopation. So I'm just going to get the moves here. No tempo practice. Okay, so now slow tempo. I think I could do it just in best interest of time. I think I could do it the whole thing slowly. Oops, if I could select it. All right, that's going to be what wastes the time here. Okay, there. So let's do that. All right, so. Whoops. again, it's so important that you know this song in your head so that you know what the rhythms are going to sound like, even roughly. Even if you play them slow and you can't play it up to speed, that's totally fine. But as long as you could play it, at any speed, steady, and play it to what you hear in your head, then you'll be good to go. So I'm just gonna go for it, just in best interest of time. I want to give myself as much time as possible for that bump, that part there. So. Oh, there's a mistake there, so. That's one. Two. Cool. All right. That's three riffs down. Okay, let's go to this one here. Okay, you can't see the star, but it's right here. So bum ba da 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 dun da 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 dun dun da da dum bum. Okay, and I'll do it 2 times. All right, are you guys liking this? Are you guys understanding how I'm breaking this down and building it back up? It's all very scientific, very formulaic. Okay, so no tempo practice right now. Just experiencing this line without any pulse or anything like that. And also figuring out kind of like what fingers to play and all that stuff. But it's all pretty much 1 finger per fret. Okay, that actually is pretty good. Okay, so now that I did no tempo practice, I'm going to do slow tempo practice. Just go slowly with, let's do this chunk. And I see there's a slight palm mute on this one here. So. Okay, that's 1. Okay, that's 2. Okay, that's 3. So I'm going to move on. I'm actually going to just go here. I'm going to go. That's now 2. That's going to do 3 times. Okay, I did it 3 times without making a mistake, and as you can see on the poster on the left of the screen, I'm going to move on now. I did 3 times without making a mistake. Now I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm going to increase the amount. So I'm going to go, whoops, let's do it again. Okay, and I'm going to do the 3rd time here. That was 3 times. I should have left a space between first attempt and second attempt. I connected them a little bit. That's not a good idea, by the way. But I did 3 times without making a mistake, so that was cool. So now I'm just gonna jump in the deep end. I've got 11 minutes here. I'm gonna give myself as much time for the last riff as possible. Okay, so. And it's also sometimes a good idea to jump in the deep end just to see, maybe you might get it. Just doing the target tempo. Just try it, and it'll expose where the areas that you need. Maybe it just might be a small little area, and you focus on that. So that's another way to practice less, is just jump into the deep end after you've done some practice like this with no tempo and slow tempo, and then you can just see where the problem areas are just by trying to play it up to speed. You can see exactly what to focus on rather than the whole thing. So, okay, so. Well, there's a mistake, so I have to reset back to 0. Okay. And 3rd time. So I think it's really important to note that I made a mistake there, and I had to reset back to 0. So I have to play 3 times without making a mistake before moving on. If I make a mistake, I got to reset back to 0. I've got to play 3 times without making a mistake before moving on. Okay, so the goal here, let's try 2 times in a row. So. Okay, cool. That's 1. That's 2. I'm happy about that. So that is riff 4. Riff 4 is done, okay, and with 9 minutes to go. So what I'll do is I'm going to just see what this other riff, that in my head it's a bit of a monster, but might not be, and I shouldn't do that. I should just go into it and just see what's here, rather than thinking it's going to be hard, because that's obviously going to make my muscles more tense, and it might make me not play this well. So I'm going to go open-minded, Okay, so let's see. So no tempo practice here. Okay, so again, that's actually not as bad as I thought that it was going to be because of those pull-offs. So the pull-offs right over here, I think are it's actually going to be fine, but just we'll see when it's up to speed. But I'll go now with this this here. So let's with slow tempo practice. So slow I can't make a mistake, and with a steady pulse. Okay. Last one. Okay, so that is 3 times without making a mistake. Let's increase the speed. So let's just jump into it. Let's see. Well, that's a bit fast. Okay, so let me. Okay, actually I feel good about that. That's 106. So now I'm going to up it to 111, because if you do 3 to 5, then your fingers won't really know the difference. It feels like the same speed. Okay, so I'm playing 3 times without making a mistake before moving on. When am I moving on to a faster speed? So I'm upping it from 111 to 116. When you go gradual like this, your fingers don't really know the difference. So 3 to 5 BPM at a time. After 3 times without making a mistake. Okay, now I'm just going to go, let's go to 121. So cool. And the final tempo, which is 124. Cool. Cool. All right, so that's 3 times without making a mistake. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play from here. So 3 times without making a mistake. Now I'm going to move on. I'm going to play all of this. So do you see, guys, how this is my workflow? Like, this is how I practice, right? And hopefully this is helpful, just seeing the workflow. Again, don't worry about specifics of that I'm playing Carry On Wayward Son and that I'm doing these specific licks. If you don't know what a pull-off is, or if you don't know how to read tab, or if you don't know how to do exactly what I'm doing, that's not the point. Look at how I'm doing it, and that's how you should be practicing, so that you practice less and play more. See, I feel really confident about this. Unless my guitar explodes right now, I think that I'm going to get this. And just seeing the workflow, do you just see how it's a natural process? And for people who have been working with me for a while, whether, one-on-one or in my Play From Day One program, or my band program, or read the book, just you might be able to even predict what comes next as I'm working on this stuff. So let's see. I'm going to play slowly to increase the amount, so I'm going to decrease the speed a little bit. Finally. Okay, slightly changed how I'm going to play that, but I think that's going to help. Okay, I'm going to jump in the deep end here. Okay, and then again. Whoops. Back to 0. Okay, 1. No. actually, that wasn't even how I want to play that. Nope. So that's 2 mistakes in a row. So that's too fast. So I'm getting ahead of myself. I've got to decrease the speed. So 2 mistakes in a row. Okay, now again. Again. Cool. Now that I did that, now I'm going to increase the speed. So see, 3 times without making a mistake, I went 2 mistakes in a row, and I had to go back. I had to go down. So I had to decrease the speed, decrease the amount, or decrease the complexity, and I decreased the speed. So then once I got that 3 times without making a mistake, then I bumped it up. So it's just going back and forth, back and forth. So cool. 1 time. So okay, and 3rd time. Cool. So now I'm going to play the whole riff because the last one's very similar, so I don't even really need to practice that because I'll just play the whole riff here. So okay, so then again. Nope, it's back to 0. I did the same mistake. I mean, that was good. Like, I played 2 times in a row, but don't connect them. Just have them, when you're practicing it, have a space in between. So I'll count that just for now, but when you're practicing, don't play the chunk, connect it to the next chunk. Just play the chunk, take a break. If that's 1 time without making a mistake, good. Take a break, then go 2 times without making a mistake, take a break. You always have a pause in between, and then 3 times without making a mistake. So last time. So that wasn't bad. There was actually a tiny little mistake in there, but I'm not. It's okay. We'll just keep going because that was actually still pretty good. So now one little detail. I'll just get a little bit of vibrato in there. So now that I'm going to play 3 times without making a mistake, I'm going to move on. I'm going to increase the complexity. There's a little vibrato inside the chord. So yeah. So there's that. So. Okay, so I'll give it that. So I mean, it wasn't really the most there wasn't the most exciting or photo finish completion to in a pajama jam, but I mean, I got it. That was the 5 riffs there, and it's not the most climactic sort of finish there, but I got the part done. I got the job done, and learned the 5 riffs with 1 minute and 15 to spare. I'm very happy about that. Don't get me wrong. I had a blast. That was very, very cool. I'm curious to hear what some of these sound like with distortion. So maybe I'll slap some distortion on in just a second. But that's the other thing too. Do you see how I played it mostly clean? Do you see the clean tone that allows for me to hear everything? And now when I put the distortion on and I put the bridge pickup on, you'll hear how the parts are just cleaner. Okay? So that is, again, this it's very, and I appreciate the likes and the love, guys. I really do. I appreciate the comments and everything. And some of the comments. So I see Pete. Thanks, buddy. Pete says he makes it look easy. Now again, there are a few things to keep in mind over here. Number 1 is in a pajama jam. So I want to try to create a scenario for myself where I'm challenged, so that it resembles when you're sitting down and challenged with something. If I just pretended to make a mistake or said, oh, well, if you play a bar chord, then you might go like this, and this is how you would practice it, and this is how to get out of it. That wouldn't be helpful because I'm pretending to have trouble with it. Whereas here, you're seeing a very genuine way of learning it. I'm learning something that I'm actually learning. And so this is going to resemble when you're in an actual practice scenario and you're hitting an obstacle, right? When you hit an obstacle, you're going to want to use the same techniques that I just used to get out of the situations that I found myself in. Some things went really well, some things didn't. But what I want you to understand is, number one, this is going to apply to different songs that you are working on and use the same techniques. That's the main thing, is use the same techniques, because those apply to any song, especially for anyone who's watched other Pajama Jam episodes. You'll see that I applied the same techniques to other songs. Now, that's number one. Number two is that I'm applying this all the time, so I'm learning faster and improving my ability like a muscle to learn quickly and make the coordination happen faster and all of that. So it's I'm practicing the method that I'm using to practice, if that makes any sense. And again, if you want to learn how I did it, check out my book, Practice Less, Play More. I outline exactly what I just did inside this session here. And you'll learn the same strategies for yourself. Now, was that cool? Did you guys like the different riffs? There are 5 different riffs. Let me actually let me do this. Let me switch. We'll see if I can get a heavier sound here. And let's see. That should be good. Just want to make sure it's not clipping or anything like that. Let's see. That should be good. Okay, so now I could kind of relax a little bit and play now with distortion. Is that cool, guys? Do you want to hear me play some of these riffs with distortion? Because this is sort of the payoff. Okay, this is the payoff to when you're playing it, or I should say practicing the riff, and you're practicing clean. Then you can play some distortion, and that's really the fun part, where when you're playing up. Yeah, like that sounds cool. Let me see, actually. Let's see what else I can do to the tone over here. Increase the gain. Increase the master. Okay. Just want to make sure we're not clipping, so. Yeah, that's fun, man. What was the other one? Cool. Yeah, so do you see, this is the pastures. That's when I get yelled at to turn it down. Amazing. When you put the distortion on, it becomes really fun. I've got a setup over here where it's whisper quiet, like it's not actually going through an amp or anything like that. It's all digital, right? And so it's all broadcasting like that. But yeah, so that's super fun. Really, really fun stuff. Now that is thanks, Ken. Cool. So that is Carry On Wayward Son, and that was a blast. We went over some things, some techniques that, again, the principles that you'll use on every single song. We had pre-practice, so I set up my practice session. I set myself up so that I can succeed. So I had my notes over here. I had my metronome set to the target tempo. On the screen, I had my tab was here, and I scanned through it before the session. I scanned through the tab just to make sure there wasn't anything weird happening, and then I also put stars where each of the riffs were, so that I could save time. Because when you're practicing, especially if you don't have that much time and you're really busy, you don't want to be spending your practice time fumbling with the tab and trying to search for the things. Have it going. If you have Video Surgeon, or if you have YouTube, let's say, have the video loaded up already for you in the browser, or have the video loaded up in Video Surgeon. that's saving you a lot of time and energy when you're practicing. So have all that stuff ready to go. So that's what I did first. Then, when I'm actually practicing those 5 riffs, because there were 5, I took each one individually and I did no tempo practice first. And then, so that means that I'm actually experiencing the thing without any musical pulse, just going through the whole thing just to see, what fingers am I going to use and all that, figuring the stuff out. And then after that, once I go through that, then I pick a little chunk, so a small little section, and then I do the slow tempo practice, which is so slow I can't make a mistake, but has to have a musical pulse. And then once I get that one time, now I move into fast practice formula mode, where I'm going to try playing 3 times without making a mistake before moving on. Moving on to what? Move on to either faster, so increasing the speed, more, increase the amount, or more complex, increase the complexity of the part. And when I made mistakes, anytime in there, if I make one mistake, it resets the counter back to 0, and I have to climb back up to 3. So it's like a game. And then if I make 2 mistakes in a row, then I have to decrease the speed, decrease the amount, or decrease the complexity. Notice I say or. You're going to decrease one of those things. And we're just going to do little experiments every single time. That's basically it. That's the system, and these are the results that you get. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Again, if you want to learn more about the system, if you don't have my book, Practice Less, Play More, you'll learn everything that you need inside this book. And for anyone who has the book and isn't part of my Play From Day One program, then check out Play From Day One. That's number 1, playfromday1.com. And right now public registration's closed, but you can get in on the waiting list. And when a spot opens up, I'll let you know as soon as one opens up for you. And yeah, Bobby, nice. A game you can win. A game you're guaranteed to win. That's basically it. And yeah, I mean, this is how I've been practicing for years, and just going with teaching after coaching so many beginners and intermediates and advanced players on learning faster, just the techniques started to really get refined. And it wasn't until I wrote the book back in December that it all just really started coming together and laid out step by step. So hopefully you guys, really, this is what's funny is I'm kind of talking you out of watching this, because you're just going to see me talk about the same stuff every single week. I'm just applying it to different songs. So my goal is just to keep repeating the same things over and over, and then they just, they seep into your mind, and that's how you, steer the car when you're practicing. Okay, so is that cool, guys? Did you guys enjoy that? Let me know what you liked most about the session. Let me know if there were any highlights or takeaways or anything like that. I'm very, I'm curious to know what you got out of it. So I'm just going to check through the chat here. And also, I'm going to hang out for another 10 minutes or so. So just let me know if you have any questions about anything. I'm here to chat. So let's see here. Okay, so I see Carrie. Oh, no, sorry, Chris. Chris asks, where are you finding your sheet music? So, and nice, that's so funny. Len just asked the same exact question. So there is, for some of the stuff, so, okay, Ultimate Guitar, 911, tabs, like, those are usually pretty good, but I always try to see if I could find the songbook. And, the songbook, often, if I can't find it, let's say online, on Amazon or whatever it might be, I just will search. I'll search for like a JPEG or a PDF or something like that, and see if I could find a tab of the songbook, like a screenshot of the songbook. If I can't, then usually I'll just buy the songbook. And so the songbook, I mean, what you have to remember as well is just because it's in a songbook, it's not going to mean that it's exactly, it's not going to mean that it's exactly what they did on the record. It doesn't, even if the guitar player in the band approved it, the tabs, there's always that room for error. And so always use your ear. Like in this riff here, I actually, on this part. Okay, so when I went like this, and I know the guitar's a little bit lower right now, but when I went to this part, I changed how that was supposed to be, how that's played, like from what the tab says to what I just felt here. I wanted to play a pull-off somewhere because that's just what it felt like. And so I modified it. But also, if something is wrong, if you hear something wrong, because you know this song, remember you're playing songs that you love, so if you know that there's something wrong here, then then you modify it. Like you have to take every single thing that you see on the screen with a tab or even in a book with a grain of salt. And so if you hear something that's wrong, then it's probably wrong, and it's fine because typos happen all the time, and also it's all based on a human being whose ear heard something at a specific time making the tab. So there's always room for error. But yeah, the short answer to this question is I just find them online. Okay, and you can just search for whatever song. You know where you should go is Scribd, SCRIBD, I think it's .net. And it's a subscription. I think it's like $8 a month or something like that. But some songbooks are on there. You just search for the book, like Kansas Best Of, and you could see it. Or put like Kansas Songbook PDF into Google, and you should be able to find it. Okay. All right. Pete says he has used this system for many years. Yes, I have. All right. Just scrolling through. All right. Next week, Love in Vain by the Stones. Nice request, Pete. So if you want to request a song, let me actually just go back to this screen here. You'll see rockthis.link. So if you go to your browser and you go rockthis.link/requests, you'll be able to make the request. So rockthis.link/requests. Rockthis.link/request. Rockthis.link/requests. Okay, and I'll actually paste that here. Rockthis.link/requests, and then you go here, and you'll be able to request a song. Okay, and you can also upvote. You can upvote the song. So if you see one that you like, you can also click, "Yep, I want to see that one," and then the more votes, then I'll take that into account. So far, some of the pajama jams have come from requests. Okay, Dawn says, I like the stars for each riff. Yeah, however you want to mark the riff so that you can remember. Okay, Ian, don't know if you mentioned this before, but where do you get your notation tabs? Okay, so so hopefully that helped Ian, Len, as well as Chris. Okay, Steven. So excellent. I love the book as well. Thanks, bud. You have brought the guitar back to me. I kept putting it down from just too many exercises. Awesome, buddy. I love that. Yeah. Don't worry about the scales and the exercises. Play songs. Play songs you love. If you need help with that, please reach out to me. I will help you with that. I will coach you, and because you deserve to play songs that you love. Again, if you want me to coach you, then check out Play From Day One. That's number one. playfromday1.com, and the public registration is closed right now, but add your name to the waiting list, and I'll let you know as soon as the spot opens up for you. Rocky is here. Hey, buddy. Julie, I like it. Sets out a plan for you so you don't have to think too much about it and get down to the nitty-gritty. Yes, exactly. That's the whole point. Your brain needs to focus on all the other things that it's doing, and some things that I'm not even mentioning right now, and I will in the future. But if you just have a system that's reliable, then you just go through that. You go through that system. Okay, and for anyone who bought my book, check out the bonuses because there's a practice checklist in there as well. So you can kind of just go through and you just stay organized with it, and you'll learn a lot faster with the right tools. Okay, cool. So and Carrie says, yes, I love Scribd. Cool. So much there. Perfect. All right. Well, do you guys have any questions, anything like that? I'm going to be here for another few minutes, and we'll. Anything that you want to know, anything you're working on and you're playing, I'm happy to help out. Really loving this pomegranate juice lately. All right, so let me just make sure that my guitar, the tone is a rhythm clip. Okay, so that should be good. All right. Let's just see. We'll give it another couple of minutes. So what else? Yeah. So like I said, for anybody who didn't catch the beginning, so VØID Cancer, we've got merch coming up soon inside the merch store. VØID Cancer. So that's my fundraising initiative. We've got shirts. We've got tank tops. So crew neck, V-neck. We've got mugs, and we've got hoodies coming soon. I'll be announcing that very, very soon. And again, all proceeds from all sales of VØID Cancer merch will be going to help create new programs for cancer patients and their caregivers through my fundraising initiative, VØID Cancer. So this is the logo, nice and big on the shirt, and check that out. I'll be announcing that pretty soon. So either on Facebook or if you're on my email list or in one of my memberships, then you'll be hearing about that very soon. So, all right, Pete, cool. So you got to go, and I'm going to wrap this thing up over here. Cool. No problem, Julie. Rocky, any suggestions on a good backing band loop or something to keep time? The record, man. The record, Rocky. You guys got to start playing, if you're not playing already, with the record. Play with the record, because the record is the pulse. There's the drummer. There's the everything that you love about the songs that you love. I mean, it's all right there. It's in the record. So I'm not big on backing tracks. I think that a lot of backing tracks sound cheesy, and I'm just not into it. So I was always playing along with records, and that's what I recommend. So that's my answer for that question. I would say load up the track. And here's a really, really good tip here. Like, this one is one of my best pieces of advice that I'm going to give you. Instead of trying to match your level of playing to the level of the record, match the record to your level of playing. So that means slow it down if you need to. That means simplify, take parts out. Play power chords instead of bar chords if there's bar chords on the record. Simplify it. So match the record to your playing level rather than your playing level to the record. Okay, and that's how you play along with the record. And you should be playing from day one with the record. Okay, that is the trick that you need to do. If you need more help with this, bud, you just reach out to me, and I'll help you out with that. But that's the basis of my coaching, is helping you to play along with records, and that should be the basis of your practicing as well. Cool, Basher, take care, buddy. All right, guys. Well, this was a lot of fun. I hope you had a great time at this episode of Pajama Jam. That was a lot of fun. I mean, again, it wasn't as climactic as some of the other ones in the sense of, like, it wasn't a photo finish. I had it pretty much under control, but I wanted to demonstrate that as well, about how to go about learning all this stuff in a short period of time. So I'm really excited about that we got Carry On Wayward Son. I'm also excited that I'm saying the title properly rather than Carry On My Wayward Son. And that's pretty much it. So again, if you want to check out all the techniques that I'm talking about here in the Pajama Jam, check out my book, Practice Less, Play More, over on Amazon. And if you want me to be your coach, then check out Play From Day One. That's number one, playfromday1.com. There's a waiting list right now. Put your name on the waiting list, and then everything will take care of the rest. When a spot opens up, I will let you know. But I'm very excited to help you with your guitar playing. And to all of my Play From Day One members and band members who join me, thank you so much for your support. I love you guys. And just keep up the great work. So this was a ton of fun, guys. Check out the replay. I'm going to just post that. It'll be on my page, and it'll be on it should be on YouTube soon. But I will see you, should be next week, with the next episode of Pajama Jam. Have a great night, great morning, great afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, and we'll talk soon. Take care.